They're a Year 10 GCSE class. They are going to be sitting the higher paper and aiming for C's and some B's. They're the bottom of the higher groups in their year, so some may end up doing the foundation paper. We've been doing a few lessons on transformations, so we've looked at reflection, rotation and translation, and this is going to be a lesson consolidating all of that. Right, this lesson we're going to be looking at transformations. We spent the last few lessons looking at 3 different types of transformation, and what we're going to do today is we're going to practice those 3. And remember, I've said to you that you need to not only be able to do them, but you also need to be able to describe them, and that's what we're going to make sure you can do today. So, can someone please tell me one of the transformations that we've done? Any of the 3. One of the 3 transformations that we've done so far. Shane?
Rotation.
Rotation. Thank you, Zach. Another one?
Reflection.
Good. And Seb?
Centre of rotation.
No, that we'll come on to that in a moment, but what's the other one? Reflection, rotation, and Adam?
Translation.
Translation. Good. Right. 3 transformations that we've done. And remember, I also said that there's some information. To be able to describe them, you need to give some information for each one of those 3 in order to describe it fully. So, can anyone put their hand up and tell me one of the things that you would need for any one of those transformations? If you were going to describe it fully, pick one of them and tell me one bit of information that you would need to give to describe it. Matt?
For the reflection, you'd need the mirror line.
You need a mirror line. Good. OK, so with the reflection, you need to make sure that you've given the mirror line, don't you, to show where it's reflected. Tara?
The translation, you need the vectors.
You need the vector. Good. Oh. And Zach?
For rotation, you need the centre of rotation.
Centre of rotation. Anyone else tell me another thing that we need for any of these? James?
Rotation direction.
We need the direction, don't we, to know which way it's going to go. And anything else? Ellie?
The amount it rotates.
The angle of rotation. Good. OK, so you need to make sure that you are able to give all those bits of information for each of the transformations. OK? Right, reflection. Can you see that green one there? Diagonal line. For reflection, you need the mirror line. And remember, we talked about actually describing the mirror line in terms of equations of straight lines. So can anyone tell me an equation of any of the lines on the board? OK, we've gone over these, but we need to be able to describe them. Now, we're not just going to be drawing the line on. You need to be able to tell someone else where you want to reflect something. So, Ella.
Y equals x.
Y equals x. Which line is y equals x?
That green one going across that, yeah.
This one? So this line coming through here is y equals x, because every point on that line, the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate are the same, aren't they? Good. Amy?
Y equals minus x.
And which one's that?
The other green one.
Y equals minus x, because for every y-coordinate that you get, x is the negative of that. Good. Amy?
X equals 3.
X equals 3, and which one's that?
The purple line closest to me.
This one here?
Yeah.
Brilliant, well done. And remember, x equals 3, that means every point on this line has x-coordinate 3, doesn't it? It's going through this point here, x equals 3. That is the line x equals 3. Meg?
Y equals 4, top orange one.
This one here, y equals 4. Good, because that's going through the point y equals 4. Every coordinate on that line will have y-coordinate 4. Tom?
Y equals minus 2.
And which one's that?
The bottom orange one.
Good. Y equals minus 2. Every point on that line has y-coordinate minus 2. Bryony?
That purple one is x minus 5.
X equals minus 5. Good, brilliant. X equals minus 5. That's really good. Can anyone tell me, if I wanted to reflect something in the x-axis, I wanted that to be my mirror line. You can say the x-axis, but can anyone tell me, what did we say the equation was of the x-axis? You can call it the x-axis, but just so we know, Matt, what's the equation of the x-axis?
X equals 0.
Of the x-axis?
Y.
Y equals 0. Good.
Yeah.
Well done. It's a really easy mistake to make, but remember, along the x-axis, every y-coordinate is 0, not every x. X changes, y stays the same. So what about the equation of the y-axis? Equation of the y-axis, Tara?
X equals 0.
Brilliant. X equals 0. Good. So you're happy with those? When we're doing rotation, when you describe the centre of rotation and where you're rotating the shape about, remember you need to give coordinates of the points. If I put across here, can you just remind me how I get the coordinates of that point? Coordinates of that red point there, if I wanted to rotate a shape about that point, what would the coordinates of that point there be? Go on, Amy.
1, 2.
Good. 1, 2. Okay, remember you always go in the x direction first. Say how far you're going that way or that way, and then how far up. Angle of rotation. What kind of thing might we say for the angle of rotation? Give an example of what angle you might rotate something through. Victoria?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. And how much of a turn is 90 degrees? Quarter of a turn. Good. And you remember you need to say whether you're going clockwise or anti-clockwise. Another example of how what you might rotate a shape through. What angle might you rotate a shape through another angle? 90 degrees. What else might you do? James?
180.
180. When you do 180, remember, it doesn't matter, does it, whether you're going clockwise or anti-clockwise? So that's the exception there. If you go clockwise or anti-clockwise, you'll still end at the same place. And with translations, with the vector notation, how would we, just a quick reminder, how do we write these vectors? What do they look like? When you translate a shape, what do the vectors look like? Can you remember? Tara?
So the direction like left or right on the top and up or down on the bottom.
So, if I wrote that, the 4 tells me how far left or right I go. How do I know if I'm going to go left or right, Tara?
If it's a minus, it's left.
Good.
Positive, it's right.
Good. Just like the points here, these are all positive going right, and they're all negative going left. So if it was a -4, it would go that way. +4, it's going that way. What about this then? This tells me that I moved 2. Am I going up or down? If that was my vector of translation, am I going up or down? Yep.
You're going down because it's minus.
Good. Again, positive would be up, negative would be down. Brilliant. Okay, so you need to bear all of that in mind when we're playing the game that I'm about to show you how we play. Okay? So, game's called Transformageddon. You are transforming shapes, and what you're trying to do is, what will happen is this grid will fill up, and I've got some grids for you that I'll give out in a moment. It's going to fill up, and you don't want to be the person that has no room left, nowhere left to go, or the only place it can go will overlap one of the other shapes or overlap or go off the edge of this grid. Okay, so you're trying to move the shapes around using up the space that's there. You can, when you get good at it, maybe try and make it really difficult for the person you're playing against, because you might know there's loads of space here and you're just going to put it right in the middle to make it really difficult for them. Okay, but obviously you'll get better with practice. So what we're going to do is you're going to, in your pairs, we're going to go through a quick game here. In your pairs, one person is going to describe a transformation, and I want them to write it into their books. There's no dispute about what they've said. But if you've described it, you're then going to get your partner to actually do that transformation. Okay, so you need to make sure that you give them enough information, and then they will do it. And what we're going to do is you're going to roll a dice, and that's going to tell you, it's going to kind of limit you with what you can actually do. For example, if you get a 1 or a 2, you're going to, I think it's, if it's a 1 or 2, it's going to be reflection. You have to do a reflection. If it's a 3 or 4, it's going to be rotation. And if it's a 5 or 6, it's going to be a translation. And you have to do those. So 5, that means we're going to have to do a translation. Okay? So translation on that shape. Does anyone want to come up and have a go? One person's going to describe it. They're going to describe the translation, and someone else then needs to actually do it. So who wants to just describe it? Put your hand up if you want to just describe a translation. Get any idea of a translation you might want to do. Adam.
4 left.
Remember how we describe transformations? So if you were going to write a vector, what would you write?
4 left, and then 3 down.
So how would you write that? 4 left. How do we write 4 left?
-4.
Good. And?
-3.
Good. So Adam said he wants to do that translation. Who's prepared to come up and draw where they think that shape would end? When it's been translated through -4, -3, where's it going to end? Come on then, Meg. So draw with the pen as neatly as you can. Where do you think that shape will end? Okay, so Adam would have to write this down. He can't just tell her. He has to... Right, hold on a moment. If you put your hand on it, it's going to touch it. So just use the tip of the pen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. So just don't put your hand on it. Just touch with the tip of the pen on where it's going to go. Good. Just do it the best you can. Good. Okay. Thank you. Brilliant. Right. So Meg's translated that shape. Have a look at where it's ended. Has anyone got any comment to make? Go on, Ella.
It hasn't gone down 3.
Brilliant. So you've done half of it. So well done, Meg. That's exactly right. And you counted from, you picked 1 point and moved it 4 left, but you've got to do down. Okay? So if that had been the game, Meg would have lost then, and Adam would have won that game because he's described something, but Meg hasn't actually managed to carry it through fully. She hasn't fully completed it. That's not what Adam asked for. So who can come up and tell me where it would end? Go on, Shane, come up and draw where it would end. Let's just get rid of that one. Okay, now, just touch them with the pen, not with your hand. Where would it end? Good. Brilliant, thank you. So, any comments on that? Is that okay? So, he picked a point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then he filled in the rest of the shape from there. Brilliant. Right, when you've done that, this shape is no longer in place, so you'd cross it out. Okay, that's not being used anymore. So then, the person who's just moved it, in other words, Shane, would then have to see what the next transformation was going to be. So, 1. And 1 is reflection. So, Shane, where would you like to reflect that shape? Tell me the mirror line that you would like to reflect that in.
X equals 1.
You want to reflect that in the line x equals 1. Right, anyone want to come up and draw where the new shape's going to be when it's been reflected in x equals 1? Who thinks they know where that's going to be? So think about the line where line x equals 1, where would that be? And where would the reflected shape go? Anyone want to come up? Go on then, Ella. So you're always working on the most recent shape. So it's reflected in the line x equals 1. Where's the line x equals 1 going to be? Good. So if it was reflected in there, good.
Oh, wait.
Go on, well done. Good. So that's brilliant, well done. Reflecting the line x equals 1, but she didn't quite draw the shape the same as it was when it started, but she adjusted it, so that's fine. And then this shape's gone. Colour it in, just cross it out. We're now working on this shape. And as you go on, this grid's going to fill up more and more. Okay, the important things to remember are that it needs to not go off the edge of that. If Shane had then said, in the line x equals 2, the reflected shape would have gone off. That would have been Shane would have lost that game. Okay, so you do exactly what you're told. You do exactly the transformation that you've been told by your partner. Okay, if it goes off, but you've done exactly what they described, they're going to lose because they haven't described it properly. Okay, they've described something that will lose. It can't overlap any part of it. Okay, and if they don't give enough information, if they write down something but they forget to tell you which direction it's in, and you say, "Are you ready? Is that it?" and they say yes, they've then lost because they haven't given you enough information. Okay, let's just do one more of these. Last one, 5. 5's translation again. I'm going to put these up on the board, don't worry. Translation, right. Ella, can you please describe a translation? Let's just get rid of that bit there. You want to do on this shape? And then we'll get someone else to come up and draw where it would finish.
3, wait, no, -2, 4.
So you're saying -2, 4, okay? So Ella would have written down -2, 4. Who wants to come up and draw where that's going to end when you've translated that shape, Bryony? -2, 4. So where would it end? Okay, thank you. Right. Any comments on that? Pick a point. 1, 2. It's going left because it's a minus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, what's happened? It's overlapped the shape, hasn't it? So if that had happened in a game, who would have won that? Who would have lost that game? Would it have been Bryony who would have lost it? Would it have been Ella who would have lost it? Seb? Ella would have lost it because Bryony did exactly as she was told. It's overlapped. So you need to think really carefully before you do it. What I'm going to do is, we haven't had any rotations there. I've given you tracing paper, and I'm happy for you to use tracing paper to begin with, but I am going to stop using tracing paper partway through the lesson. So for rotations, when you're describing, you can try it out yourself and see where it's going to end, and the person doing it can use tracing paper, but at some point I will stop the person describing it using it. The person that can do it, the person that's doing the transformation can use it, the person describing it won't be able to, so you'll need to think really carefully. Okay, so anyone got any questions? Right, I'm going to give out to each pair a sheet with 8 grids on. Okay, they all go from 5 to -5 on the x and y axis. And I want you to start with this shape that I've got here. When you've done, after the first game, you can use any shape with area 4 that you want. Okay, as long as it's got an area of 4, you can do any shape. I may change that to include 5 as well, but we'll see how we go. When you're rotating them, please remember, I want it to line back up on the squares, okay? We don't want things half on the squares. So it needs to be 1/4 of a turn, 1/2 a turn, 3/4 of a turn, okay? I'm going to put the rules up on the board. 1 or 2 is reflection. I'll give you dice in a minute. 3 or 4 is rotation. 5 and 6, translation. Quickly, let's run through these again. The person who rolled the dice describes and writes down fully the transformation they want to do. In your books, write it down. The other player carries out this transformation exactly as written. Even if you know it's not going to work, you do it exactly as written. Once it's been transformed, colour in the original shape. Next transformation is done on the white shape. The player describing it will lose if the shape overlaps an existing shape, part or all of the shape falls outside the grid, they don't give enough information, or there is nowhere to go without any of the above happening. So if you know you can't actually go anywhere, there isn't enough room, then you've lost, okay? Player doing the transformation will lose if they don't follow the exact instructions given, okay? So I need someone to hand out some dice. Can someone hand out dice, please? 1 to each pair. Megan, hand out dice, please. 1 to each pair. I think there's enough there if there's not, come back. And Jay, can you just hand these out, please? 1 between 2. If you need more grids, please let me know. Keep track of who's won which game, okay? Keep a track of who's winning which game, and we will stop in a few moments and see how you're getting on. Let's take a couple more.
Is it 1 between 2?
Yeah, you only need 1 between 2. Ellie, have you got paper to write down on? Yeah. No, when you roll the dice, whatever you get... No, you're just playing on 1 grid to begin with. OK, there's some more on the front, Jade. Just there. So you roll it, you do to begin with. So you roll it, 6 would mean you have to do translation. So you have to do translation on that one. Anywhere you want. You can start with the shape anywhere you want. The first person puts the shape wherever they want. Are you happy to work here, or do you want to work over? You happy to? Work here for a bit, and then I'll go and move you. OK? OK, so start with the shape wherever you want on the grid.
Start with the shape they did on the board.
Yeah, start with the shape that I did on the board, the L shape, and then we'll change it after that one.
We don't mind to start. You can start.
I roll the dice.
Don't you have
Add an extra thing on it, so it's 4 squares. 4 squares that L shape is, remember? It was meant to be an L shape. Don't worry, stick with that for now. That's fine. Yeah, go on then. Girls, do you know what you're doing? Start off, you meant to start with an L shape. Yeah, because you're only playing on 1 piece of paper, aren't you? So draw an L shape on whoever's going first. Draw the L shape on there. Yep, anywhere.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So write it down so there's no dispute. Remember to write down the transformation that you're doing so there's no dispute over what's been said.
Miss, this is y equals 0, that one.
That's y equals 0, yeah. So you can write these in your book if you want, because you're going to fill up the page. Just use the back of... Oh, sorry, James. Use the back of your book to write them down, OK?
Wrong.
So Jade's describing it then, is that right, Bryony? And then you're going to have to do it.
Is the first one going up, miss?
The first one's always X. That's the X. Which direction's X on the grid?
You roll the dice.
Yeah, good. So that just knows how far along you go.
Yeah.
No. So what happens Shane rolls the dice. Shane rolls the dice. And then...
You okay?
And then you'll tell Ellen to do something.
That works.
Yeah, because we're trying to...
We're just going to round
Work
the
it.
dice into.
Okay, that's fine.
Wait, hang on. Do we have one of them each?
No, you're playing on one grid. It's just when you finish that, you've got another one to play on. Okay, so you're playing that whole game on
So
there.
we can play through pair. That's the
Yeah. You can. If you can work out ways to, it's fine. But yeah, so if you described it, and then Adam did it and he did it wrong, then he would lose, and you would have won. Okay, and Shane would have just not got anything from that one. Okay, how are you getting on?
Yeah, fine.
Able to describe them? Yeah.
Translation.
Oh, wait, translation. Miss, that microphone on.
Okay. So Amy, are you describing now?
Alright, so Shane gets another point.
Can I just like get minus 1 point?
No, you don't lose a point. You don't lose a point, Shane wins a point. You don't lose a point if you're not. Shane wins a point.
Well, I reckon we should do a point system.
Yeah. Shane's got 2 points because he won that one and he won that one. Well,
So you finished that one. Who won?
I did.
Brilliant.
I've been away for an ask of y equals 0, but I would have lost if she got it right.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. So Bryony gets 1 point. Move on to the next one. This time, pick a shape with area 5, any shape you want, so it's got an area of 5 squares. Okay. Good. So then, go on to the next one. Whoever, one of you, draw the shape on area 5.
Not too complicated, please.
So who won this one? Victoria, well done.
no, you do it. You do it afterwards. Shane.
Yeah, by the way, if someone's taking too long, then tell me and we'll hurry them up. No time wasting. Yeah, if you finish a game, move on to another grid and play again, and we'll swap round in a moment. Who's winning? No one, still going. James.
What line would you say that was?
That's right.
What did you say it was?
Oh, so wrong.
Sorry? Yeah, is that what you said, Ashley? Yeah, that's line works, isn't it? Yeah.
Do we have to write it down?
Yeah, you should be, just so there's no disputing.
That was dirt there, so I thought it was just dirt, not a minus sign.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah.
So who won that one? Zach. Okay, well done. Move on. Pick a shape now, area 5 like you were doing.
Rolling the dice.
That's right.
A couple more minutes, then you're going to swap rounds. No, it can cross the numbers, that's fine. You picked a square, make it an area of 5. Add another bit on there. Sorry? Swapping round what? That's what you should be doing. I mean, swap partners. I mean, we'll swap partners in a minute.
It's James taking too long. That would not work.
One all then, is it? Decider. So how are you getting on here? You all taking it in turns? Yeah. Good.
Did she get that right?
Yes, he does.
Shane's on for
Okay, so these are the transformations you've been doing, are they?
Yeah, they've all been rotations.
Oh, have they? Oh dear.
This dice is fixing us.
Do you want me to swap it? Roll it again and see what you get.
It's fixed.
I'll go and get another one. Have you?
We'll find out. It could have gone right.
There you go, Alex. Ashley, are you okay?
What happens if she said something and it's going to lap?
So you did exactly what she told you to do, but it overlapped. You win. Okay, so if Ellie describes it, and then you play another game. So move on. Yeah, Ashley, you won that one. So move on to another one. You draw any shape that you want, area 5. Okay, and you do the same. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, finish the transformation that you're on, and then I want you to put your pens down, please. So it draws it, okay. Finish the transformation you're on, and then put your pens down, please. Okay, right. Ashley? Girls. Right, what I want you to do then, please, is if you have won most games, you might have only played one and you've just won that one. That's fine. If you've played a couple and you've won most, if you've won more than you've lost, can you put your hand up, please? If you've been winning more than you've been losing. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Right then. Don't move yet, but I'm going to tell you who's going to be playing who, and then in a moment we'll swap, okay? So if we can have, please, sorry, just put your hands up again. Who's been winning? Tara, Zach, Ashley, Shane. Right, if we have then, Bryony, if you can move in a moment to play Shane. Tara, if you can move to play Victoria. And Zach and Ashley, you can play each other, okay? Then, hold on, if you've lost more than you've won, put your hands up. Actually, is anyone equal? Is anyone drawing? So here, right, so if we have, then let's have swap around here, okay? So play someone different. And then Adam and Alex, you play each other. Is that okay? Sorry? And then people who have lost more, put your hands up. So we'll have Ellie, you can play Tom. Jade, you can play Matt. And Amy and Seb, you can play. Anyone not got someone to play? Ella, you've already been in a 3, so I don't want you in a 3 again. If you can then please play... Ella, if you play Amy, and Seb, I'll move you somewhere in a moment, okay? So move, please, to sit with the person I've asked you to sit with. Only, again, 4 on a table. So arrange yourselves. Okay, so move around. Ella, if you play Amy, is that all right? Seb, I'm going to move you, because Ella's already been in a 3, so I don't need to be in a 3 with that there, okay? So,
Should I move with...
Adam's going to sit down here with Alex, and who are you playing, Tom? Okay, do you want to play with Ellie and Tom, is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so if you get a chair, play these two. Okay, and can you just listen, please? Seb, do you want to get a chair? Okay. If you just listen, I want you to use a shape for these, area 5. Same rules as before, but no tracing paper now. No tracing paper. Good. No tracing paper.
Does it matter? Because he's a big...
You're going to run out of room very quickly. Go on then, do that one. But you might find that's too big and it lasts only a couple of seconds, okay? But try it. Five.
That's
I want to reflect on that. Is that going to be what x?
Which one?
Eyebrows the other day.
X equals 0, good, or the y-axis. Yeah, that's x equals 0, good. Okay, tracing paper, please. Thanks.
Who rotation to who? Me or
Thank you. Ellie. Thanks. Okay, so this time, I think what they were doing before is, say Tom starts rolling the dice. You roll the dice. Tom's going to describe. That tells Tom what to do. He has to describe one. You have to do it. Okay? So if you do it wrong, Tom wins. If Tom describes it and he's not on that one, and then next time Tom rolls it and Seb describes to you, does that make sense? And you go round. Okay? So you can't win or lose on this one, but we'll keep going. And just use the same grid, even though you'll run out of room.
I can't use tracing paper now.
No?
rotate.
Okay. Coordinates 1 and 1.
Oh yeah! It's a really big shape. Because I thought, oh, I'll put it like over there so it doesn't go into each other. And then just because it's a big shape, it's gone off.
So did Matt win? Okay, what's the area of that shape?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
9. Do you want to do one a bit smaller? Do 5. You can maybe go up to 6, Matt, but we don't want bigger than that. Okay?
Would that be right for the rotation of
Hey, wait a minute, you draw one.
180?
I'll just think, yeah.
The centre rotation 008? Yeah. Yes. Good. Okay, so then cross out the one you've been using, the first one, and then you move in the next one. Thank you. Seb? Okay, so Tom's given it to you, has he? 1, 1, 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Look at the distance of each point.
Between them, yeah.
So whereabouts do you think it's going to end up? 90 degrees anti-clockwise, which way's that going to go?
Be 180.
Be up there somewhere. So look at the distance, pick a point and look at the distance from there, and then, good. Go on, Seb, that's right, so that's where that point is. Good. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Deflection, rotation, translation.
Tracing paper.
Coordinate it.
No, we're doing it without.
It's reflection.
No. Oh, okay, to check if it's right, yes.
Translation.
If you want tracing paper to check, then let me know, but I will supervise you. Only for checking. Yeah.
What Zach's got on his book? Translation. Translation. Planted or something.
So who described this one?
Me.
And Ashley had to do it.
Oh, good one.
Keep going all the way around and see if you would have been right.
Yeah, and
90 degrees anti-clockwise.
Okay, keep going. Where did you end up with it? There, okay. So Ashley loses. To check.
Come on, hurry up.
To check?
Oh, yeah.
No, I won't. That's the line. Well, it's not, but...
Oh! Yeah, that's what you can do. What, the line going across the line, isn't it?
I hope you're not using that to do it, just to check.
No.
Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, got a couple more minutes to go. One all?
Bars.
Okay.
I had it smooth. Mine was a big shape.
reflection.
You okay? Yeah. Just checking it with the tracing paper. Okay?
Yeah.
So did it work?
Right.
Probably won't work,
Yes,
but oh well.
that's fine.
Good.
What are we checking?
Okay, can you just please put your pens down? Stop what you're doing and look back this way. Right. Put your hand up if you've won every game that you've played. Well done, Zach. Amy, no? Right. Listen, please. What I want to know, Tom, is do you find it harder to describe the transformation or to do the transformation? And is there one thing that you know that you always get wrong? Do you think, or if it's reflection, I know I can never do that one, so if reflection comes up, I keep getting it wrong. So which is it easier to do? Which do you find easier? To describe or to do? James, which do you find easier?
Doing it.
You find it easier doing it? Jade, do you find it easier doing it or describing it?
Doing it.
Doing it. What about you, Bryony?
Definitely drawing it.
Drawing it. So it's easier to draw it than to describe it. Okay, what about when you are... Zach, is there anything that you were doing that you think was helping you to win? Ashley, you can comment on that too. Anything that you were particularly good at that meant that you kept winning them?
Yeah, good strategy.
What was your strategy?
Putting them into tight corners and doing really hard, like, angles and stuff.
Okay, so you were giving difficult transformations or making it end somewhere that was really difficult for Ashley to get out of. Yeah. Interesting. Anyone else got anything they found worked really well? Particular method of doing something? Adam?
Putting it close to a past object, the past.
Oh, really?
shape or something.
So you found it made it more difficult for Alex when you put it really close to one that was had already been used?
Yeah, and the first time I was doing it as well.
You were doing the same then? Okay, good. Right, which is the hardest transformation to do? Which one do you think is the one you're going to need most practice on? Meg?
Rotation.
Rotation. Without tracing paper. Rotation without tracing paper is very difficult. Anyone else? You all agree with that one? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Right, what I need you to do is, we're going to have to pack away. I would like you to bring back to me, please, one person from each table, bring back the rulers and the dice. Bring them back to me. Also, I need a pile of the sheets on the front desk. I was pleased with how the lesson went, and I was pleased with the class. They were willing to come up to the board and answer questions and have a go at it, which was nice. And when they were playing the game, they seemed sure about what they were doing and they seemed to understand the rules, and they were able to get on and they got quite a lot of transformations done, which was the aim, really. I do feel that I'd like them to spend a bit more time doing the transformations rather than listening to me, and I could have spent a bit less time explaining what they were going to be doing, but they were confident when they were playing the game, which is good, I think. And also they were spending... The reason they were losing the games was because they were doing they were describing the transformations incorrectly rather than running out of room. So if I was going to do it again, I could maybe use a smaller grid so that they would have to think more carefully about which transformation to do and where it was going to end up. Whereas I think there were only a couple of games where that was actually happening.